You're tuning in for a deep dive into something that's likely either top of mind for you right now, maybe in the rearview mirror, or perhaps a happy daydream. Wedding planning. We all want that unforgettable, stress-free day, don't we? But the old ways of planning, I mean, overflowing binders, endless lists, it can feel anything but stress-free.
Absolutely. Planning a wedding, it just involves so many interconnected pieces, you know. Traditional methods, sure, they have their charm, but keeping track of everything, guest lists, vendors, the budget, it can become a real juggling act.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where, well, digital wedding planners are stepping in. They're this sort of modern promise of order amidst all the joyful chaos.
Right.
So our mission in this deep dive is to really get under the hood of these electronic planners.
Yeah.
We want to look at what they do well, where they might fall short, and ultimately help you figure out if one could be your secret weapon.
Right.
It's actually pretty significant. Apparently over 60% of couples are now using digital tools to plan their weddings.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big number.
It is. So why is this happening? What specific headaches are they solving? That's part of what we're exploring today.
Exactly. And this shift towards digital, it really reflects a broader trend, doesn't it? Using tech to simplify complex tasks. We've looked at, a range of articles exploring these electronic wedding planners, trying to pull out the core benefits and the potential drawbacks, too.
Okay, so think of this as your shortcut to getting well-informed. We'll pull out the most crucial insights, maybe share a surprising nugget or two, and, keep it engaging so you can decide if embracing digital is the right path for your wedding journey.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's unpack the big question then. What makes these digital tools so appealing in the first place?
Well, I think a major draw is just the sheer amount of time they can save.
Right.
Think about it. So many wedding tasks are repetitive, but totally essential. Digital tools are fantastic at automating things like sending reminders.
So yeah.
Yeah, you can basically say goodbye to manually chasing down those last few RSVPs. Platforms like Airtable and the Venlist, they offer really robust automation for RSVPs. Even some vendor communication. Couples report saving, on average, several hours a week just by letting these tools handle the follow-up.
Wow. Several hours.
Yeah, and that's valuable time freed up for the more enjoyable bits of planning, right?
Definitely. Reclaiming that much time sounds like a huge win. Sure. And it's not just about chasing people down, is it? What about, keeping the overall plan on track?
Right, that's where visual dashboards come in. You often find these in tools like Trello.
Okay.
Imagine, a bird's eye view of your entire wedding plan. Tasks are neatly organized, deadlines clearly visible. You can prioritize what needs doing now, see what's in progress, and spot any potential bottlenecks just at a glance. It's kind of like having a project manager just for your wedding. Helps maintain that crucial big picture perspective.
So it's not just doing tasks faster, but also having better oversight. Okay, now let's talk about the area that often causes the most anxiety, the budget.
Ah, yes, the budget.
Do digital planners help keep those wedding costs, under control?
This is a really significant strength, actually. Many digital planners have built-in budget trackers, and they offer real-time visibility into your spending.
Real time.
Yeah, real time. You can set specific limits for different categories, venue, catering, flowers, whatever, and then get automatic alerts if you're getting close or, going over those limits.
Oh, wow. Like a financial early warning system for the wedding.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it, an early warning system. And beyond just the tracking, there's a psychological benefit too, right? Feeling in control of your finances during such an expensive time, that can't be overstated. It can really help avoid that post-wedding financial stress.
That sounds like a massive weight off your mind, so you can actually see where every pound or dollar is going as you make decisions.
Precisely. And some platforms, like the Venlist, for example, they offer subscription models that can help manage costs, too.
How so?
Well, by paying a subscription, you get access to these sophisticated budgeting tools. It offers transparency, empowers you to stay within your overall plan. It's sort of an investment in staying financially healthy through the whole planning thing.
Right. It's about bringing some much-needed clarity to what can feel like a very complex financial picture.
Yeah.
Okay, so beyond saving time and managing money, what about just the fundamental task of keeping everything organized?
Ah, yeah. This is where electronic wedding planners really, really shine. If you think about the traditional way, scattered notes, paper contracts, endless email chains,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
the advantage of having everything centralized on one digital platform is just immediately obvious. All your vendor contacts, guest lists with all the important details, contracts, timelines, seating charts, it's all in one easily accessible place. Imagine updating a guest's address, and it automatically updates across your seating chart. And maybe your invitation list, too. That's the power of these integrated systems.
And the accessibility factor must be huge, right? You're not, like, chained to your computer or that massive binder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whether you're at a vendor meeting, browsing ideas on your lunch break, or you suddenly remember a crucial detail late at night, you can access your entire wedding plan right from your phone or tablet.
It's handy.
Yeah, that real-time accessibility allows for on-the-go updates and just ensures you're always in the loop wherever you are. Plus, a lot of these platforms really prioritize user-friendly design. So even if you're not, a tech whiz, navigating them shouldn't feel like a chore. And the customization options they offer, tailoring everything from guest list fields to budget categories, means the tool can really adapt to your unique wedding.
Okay, so the benefits are definitely compelling. Time saving, budget control, organization, accessibility. But like any technology, there are potential bumps in the road, I assume.
Oh, for sure.
Let's delve into some of the challenges and limitations of using these digital wedding planners.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the first hurdles, I think, that many couples face is just the initial learning curve.
Right. New tech.
Exactly.
Yeah.
While platforms aim to be intuitive, adopting any new digital tool does take a bit of time and effort. It can feel a little overwhelming at first, maybe, especially if you're someone who isn't particularly comfortable with new software.
Understandable.
Think of it like learning to navigate a new app. There's always that initial period of just getting your bearings,
Yeah, you're focused on planning your special day, not necessarily becoming a software expert overnight. I think I read somewhere that some users of the Venlist mentioned a bit of a learning curve when they first started.
That's a common initial reaction, yeah. User interfaces, they can sometimes take a little while to get the hang of.
Sure.
However, most platforms offer a ton of resources to help smooth this out. Video tutorials, step-by-step guides, responsive customer support. The key is really to be patient with yourself and actually use those support systems. It can also help to maybe start with smaller, less critical tasks within the platform first. Build your confidence before tackling the more complex stuff.
Good tip. So to take it one digital step at a time, what's another potential challenge couples might run into?
Vendor coordination. That can sometimes be a sticking point.
Ah, okay. How so?
Well, while these digital planners are designed to streamline communication, not all wedding vendors might be equally familiar or, frankly, comfortable using whatever platform you've chosen.
Right.
They might have their own established systems, their preferred ways of communicating that they rely on.
That's a really important point. You might be super digitally organized on your end,
Yeah.
but if your florist or your caterer prefers phone calls and, I don't know, faxes, maybe not faxes,
Yeah.
but emails, there could be a disconnect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So clear and proactive communication with your vendors is just crucial. Absolutely crucial. If you plan to use a digital tool a lot for vendor interactions, it's smart to discuss this with them early on. You might need to, say, share access to relevant sections of your planner, or maybe even give them a quick overview of how you'll be using it for sharing info and updates.
Right.
It's really about finding a communication rhythm that works for everyone involved.
It sounds like a little bit of digital diplomacy might be needed there. Make sure everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Okay, now let's zoom in on some of the specific digital wedding planning tools out there. We've mentioned a few already. Let's take a closer look at what makes some of them unique.
Certainly. Airtable, for instance, stands out as a highly versatile organizer. It's built around the concept of relational databases.
Okay, that sounds technical.
It sounds technical, but it's presented through a familiar spreadsheet-like interface. But don't let the spreadsheet fool you. It's incredibly powerful for managing interconnected information.
What do you mean?
Well, think of it this way. You can link your guest list to your seating chart and your meal preferences. So updating one automatically updates the others.
Oh, okay, so it's like a super smart spreadsheet that keeps all your data connected.
Precisely. It's fantastic for really detailed tracking vendor contacts, comprehensive guest list management like RSVPs, dietary needs, gift tracking, even complex things like seating charts and vendor payment schedules.
Wow.
And its ability to integrate with other popular tools like Google Drive and Slack That can be a real asset for keeping all your documents and communications centralized. We've even heard stories of couples using Airtable to manage literally every aspect of their budget and payments, creating this totally customized financial overview.
That level of detail and integration sounds incredibly powerful, especially for couples who really like to have a lot of control over the data. What about a more visual approach? We mentioned Trello earlier.
Yes, Trello is really known for its visual task management. It uses Kanban boards.
Kanban.
Yeah, imagine a digital whiteboard. You create cards for individual tasks, and you organize them into columns representing different stages, like to do, in progress, done.
Okay, I can picture that.
Then you can visually track the progress of each task just by dragging the cards between columns. It's like having this dynamic visual to-do list for your whole wedding.
So, at a glance, you can see exactly what needs attention, what's being worked on, and what's finished. That sounds really satisfying, especially for visual learners.
It is, and it's particularly well-suited for coordinating multiple events related to the wedding, engagement party, rehearsal dinner, the big day itself. And its mobile app is super useful for staying updated and managing tasks when you're out and about.
Right, makes sense. Okay, and then there's Discord, which, many people associate with online communities, gaming especially. How does that fit into wedding planning?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Discord really excels at fostering real-time community engagement through text and voice chat channels. So in the wedding planning context, this can be incredibly valuable for quick communication, gathering feedback from vendors, but also from family and friends who might be involved in the planning. Think of it as like a dedicated communication hub for all things wedding.
So it's less about the detailed lists and organization and more about that instant communication and collaboration.
Exactly. You can create specific channels for different things, maybe one just for discussing flowers with the florist, or another for coordinating travel with the wedding party. We actually heard from one user who streamlined all communication with their bridesmaids and groomsmen using Discord, sharing updates, polling opinions, keeping everyone in the loop in real time without, the chaos of endless group texts.
That's a really interesting use case, leveraging a platform, maybe not obviously for weddings, but for that efficient communication. Okay, so with these different tools, Airtable, Trello, Discord offering various features, how does someone decide which one might be the best fit for them?
Yeah, that's the key question. It really boils down to your individual planning style and what your priorities are.
Yeah.
If you thrive on structured data, interconnected info, Airtable's approach might be ideal. If you prefer that highly visual, flexible task management, Trello's boards could be great. And if real-time chat and community feedback are key, Discord offers something unique.
And integration matters too, right?
Absolutely. Consider what other digital tools you already use. Airtable plays well with Google Drive, Slack. Trello integrates with things like Dropbox, Evernote. Discord connects with Zoom, Spotify. Thinking about which platform fits best into your existing workflow is important.
That's a helpful way to frame it. Think about your existing tech ecosystem. Okay, so we've talked about what these tools can do, but what about seeing them in action? Do we have some real-world examples, like stories from couples who've successfully used these digital aids?
We do, yeah, and these stories really bring the benefits to life. For instance, one couple shared how they used the Venlist to manage their entire guest list. Everything from sending digital save-the-dates and invites to tracking RSVPs, even coordinating meal choices and seating plans.
Wow, the whole thing?
The whole thing. They really emphasized the significant amount of time and, frankly, stress it saved them, just having all that info readily accessible in one central place.
That sounds like a total game changer for guest logistics, which can be so complex. What other kinds of tangible benefits have people talked about?
Well, another user raved about the Venlist's budget tracking features. They were able to set clear spending limits for each part of their wedding and got timely alerts whenever they were getting close to those limits. They specifically mentioned the peace of mind it gave them.
Yeah.
Knowing they were staying on track financially, avoiding any nasty surprises. These firsthand accounts really highlight the practical value, It's beyond just basic organization.
So it's not just theoretical advantages then. Real couples are finding these tools genuinely help reduce stress in what's often seen as a super stressful process.
Exactly.
What about the pros? What do experienced wedding planners think about this rise of digital tools?
Well, experienced wedding planners are increasingly recognizing the immense value here. They see digital tools as pretty essential now for managing the intricate logistics, for staying organized, managing complex timelines with multiple vendors, ensuring no detail gets missed. This efficiency lets them, and more importantly, the couples they work with, focus more on the creative vision, the personal touches.
Ah,
It frees up their time and mental energy, basically, to concentrate on the parts that really need that human expertise and creativity.
so it's about letting technology handle the kind of nuts and bolts stuff,
Yeah.
allowing the human element to shine in the more creative and personal areas. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
So based on these real-world stories and insights from planners, what are some concrete strategies for someone thinking about using a digital planner?
Several key strategies come up again and again. First, as we kind of touched on, embrace the tutorials.
Right, don't just wing it.
Exactly. Most platforms have comprehensive guides, videos. Investing a little time upfront to learn the basics can save a lot of frustration later. Second, don't hesitate to share access with your vendors where it makes sense.
Okay.
This can seriously streamline communication, make sure everyone's working from the same up-to-date info, and finally, use checklists religiously.
Checklists. Good old checklists.
They're simple but incredibly powerful for breaking down those huge wedding tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. And tracking your progress feels good too.
Those are some really actionable tips for getting started. Now, we know weddings come in all shapes, sizes, and budgets. How do digital planners cater to this wide range?
That's a great point. Many platforms, like the Venlist again, offer a variety of customizable service levels and subscription models. This flexibility is key. It lets couples pick a plan that aligns with their specific budget and the level of support they actually need. You might find basic packages for couples doing mostly DIY, while more premium tiers offer fancier features or maybe even more personalized support. It's about finding the right fit for your unique situation.
So it's not one size fits all. You can kind of tailor the digital help to match your involvement level and financial comfort zone.
Exactly. And often these different subscription levels come with customizable features too. You might be able to add or remove specific modules based on what you need. Integrated budgeting tools are often core.
Right, the budget thing again.
Yeah, providing that real-time tracking and spending limits. And sometimes premium subscriptions unlock exclusive perks like discounts from vetted vendors or access to curated lists, which could potentially save you money overall.
Interesting. So those premium features might even pay for themselves in some cases.
That's certainly a potential benefit, yeah. Ultimately, it boils down to adaptability. Whether you're a couple wanting to manage every tiny detail yourselves, or you want more guidance, the right digital planner should have a subscription model that fits. We even heard from one user who specifically mentioned how easy it was to find a plan that met their needs and fit their budget.
That's really reassuring. Okay, so for someone who's decided, yes, I'm going digital, what are some expert level tips to really max out its effectiveness? Get the absolute most from it.
Okay, pro tips. Well, a fundamental first step is setting clear goals when you set up the tool.
Goals.
Yeah, what are your main objectives? What are your biggest anticipated pain points in planning? Defining these helps you tailor the tool's features to really hit those specific needs.
Makes sense.
We've also talked about using checklists. Keep doing that. Break down big tasks and those automated reminders.
Yes, they sound invaluable.
Absolutely. Set them up for everything, payment deadlines, vendor appointments, even reminders for thank you notes after.
Yeah.
It just massively reduces the mental load of trying to remember it all.
Yeah, I can see that.
And from an expert view, I'd also say, really use the calendar features to visualize your timeline and milestones. Share access with vendors, crucial for collaboration. And finally, don't be afraid to personalize the tools.
Oh, so?
Many platforms let you customize layouts, notifications, even the words used. Make it work in a way that feels intuitive and comfortable for you.
Personalizing your planning, even digitally. That's a great reminder.
Yeah.
Now, for some couples, the idea of going entirely digital with something so personal maybe feels a little impersonal.
Yeah, I get that.
Is there a way to bridge that gap? Blend traditional and digital methods effectively?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, a hybrid approach often provides the best balance.
Okay.
You get the efficiency and organization from digital tools, but you still keep those cherished personal touches that make the wedding feel unique and meaningful. For instance, use a digital platform for guest lists, RSVPs, budget tracking.
Great, logistics.
Exactly. But still choose to send out beautiful handwritten thank you notes or schedule face-to-face meetings with key vendors to build those personal connections.
So digital for the heavy lifting, traditional for the personal expression.
That's a great way to put it. Digital platforms excel at centralizing those core logistical tasks: budget, guest details, gift registry. And for vendor communication, you can use digital for quick updates, confirmations,
Mm-hmm.
but still nurture stronger relationships through phone calls or in-person meetings. Sharing relevant bits of your digital planner keeps everyone aligned on the practical stuff, while personal connections build trust and reduce misunderstandings.
It sounds like finding that harmonious blend is really key for a balanced planning experience. Could we maybe compare a few specific tasks, traditional versus digital?
Sure, guest list management, traditionally, maybe writing addresses in a book, tracking RSVPs by hand. Right. Digitally, it's a searchable database. Automated invites RSVPs, easy handling of dietary needs, seating, vendor communication. Traditionally, phone calls, mail, endless emails. Digitally, centralized logs, shared docs, instant notifications, budget tracking. Traditionally, maybe spreadsheets needing manual entry. Digitally, real-time tracking, auto calculations, visual reports.
That really highlights the efficiency gains, doesn't it? So if someone's a bit hesitant about going fully digital, what's a good way to start integrating these tools?
A gentle approach is often best. Start by using digital tools for smaller, less critical tasks first.
Like what?
Maybe begin with a digital budget tracker just for initial vendor deposits, or use a digital guest list just to gather contact info while managing other things more traditionally.
Okay, dip a toe in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This lets you get comfortable with the tech gradually without feeling overwhelmed. You still keep the hands-on elements you might enjoy. It really is about finding that sweet spot leveraging digital efficiency while valuing traditional personalization.
That sounds like a really practical, less intimidating way to approach it. Well, wow, we've covered a tremendous amount of ground today, really diving deep into electronic wedding planners. Let's try and bring it all together.
Absolutely. We've seen how digital tools offer really compelling advantages: efficiency, organization, budget management.
Yeah.
They automate those time-sucking tasks, give you a central hub for everything, and offer more control over finances.
But we also flagged some potential challenges, right?
Okay.
Learning curve with new tech and needing that proactive communication for smooth vendor coordination.
That's right. And I think ultimately the key takeaway is finding the right balance for you. It's about strategically using automation's power, but still cherishing and adding those personal touches that make your wedding day unforgettable.
We also touched on the variety of tools out there: Airtable, Trello, Discord, specific ones like the Venlist, and the flexibility of subscriptions to fit different needs and budgets.
Exactly. So as you embark on planning your own unforgettable day, maybe think carefully. Which parts of planning are most important for you to streamline? And where do you really want to infuse those personal, traditional elements?
Right.
How might a digital planner help you achieve that perfect equilibrium for your special day?
That's really the central question to ponder. It's about finding the tools that empower you to have the wedding you've dreamed of in a way that feels authentic and manageable for you.
Well said.
We really encourage you to explore the various digital planning options based on your own unique needs, preferences, and comfort level. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.